Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here on Zoom channel, and with me today I have Unni, who is making a lot of noise with a lot of violence thanks to Marco. So join me as I welcome him only on Zoom channel.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me here.
Lovely to have you, but
Same here.
as Shant you look right now, Shant, like silent.
Yeah.
That's not the case with you and Marco, and tell me about
kind
it.
of. Yeah. So Marco happens to be one of the best films that I've done this end of this year. If you can go back, I mean, so we did a movie called Mikhail in 2018 with Hani Fadeni, the same writer director,
Okay.
and that's when we thought Marco has a sequence wherein we can pull back if things are right. So 6 years down the line, with things better, me and Sharif Mohammed, we come forward to produce it, and even when I look back post COVID, the sensibility and understanding of the audience in general has changed a bit because of the exposure to the international cinema. And if you see the film, and those who have seen it, they have kind of compared Marco to a lot of films which they have seen maybe during their time in COVID. And I would say there's a sequence wherein we go for a 7-minute single shot action block, which is loosely inspired from Old Boy kind of thing. So this movie has been shot extensively at a high production cost, beautifully done. All my friends are part of the technical crew. Shamir Mohammed is the editor. Chandru from I worked with him in Jai Ganesh, one of the earlier films which I did in 2024, very early. And all of these friends come forward, and we wanted to do something really, really good. And I come back to action genre after 7 years, 6 to 7 years. So we wanted to make it big, and we wanted to make some noise. So while promoting, we said this could be the most violent film from Malayalam. Post release, all the people who have seen the film have made it the most violent film from India. And not just the violence part, I think the screenplay is fantastic, and definitely I'm the only one who's on the posters, but the movie is backed by a lot of good performances from other actors. We have Kabir and Yukti, who play one of the most important parts. Then the new debutants who are part of this film, Abhimanyu and Ishan, and some senior actors, and a lot of other people. So it's just a cumulative effort, and we are glad that Malayalam industry, which is predominantly known to bring in more aesthetically sound films, I also wanted my industry to be known for capable enough to do films which are on a larger scale, some flamboyant style, and a lot of noise. Yeah.
And as I told you, like in the beginning of the interview, it's already making a lot of noise.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
look itself, you know.
So
the
we're
way-
capable of doing all kinds of cinema, that's thing, because I think we were being sidelined as these industry which is making, you see, good boy kind of thing. So
Yeah.
they're like bad guy stuff.
And as you talk about Good Boy, yes, you know, there was a time when even I would watch a movie of a Mammootty or say Mohanlal. It had some essence of, you know, family drama, or
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
you know, having a romantic side of it, and, you know, more so, you know, in the rooted of, you know, love, and, you know, it also became popular.
Yeah.
And Malayalam cinema of late, you know, during lockdown has boosted like how? Like
Yeah, yeah.
people have a recall value.
Yeah.
And you have worked with Mammootty.
Yeah,
Tell me
yeah,
about
yeah.
your experience of, you know, working with him, and, you know, also, you know, taking your journey forward.
So I'll start with Momuka. I mean, so my career began with doing movies with him, like him being the main cast and me doing the sideline part. But it was fantastic. It took away the fear of performance. Like, you know, when you work with senior actors who are like big stars and extremely good actors, and then you start working with them, there is a sense of confidence that you gain. And every movie, then you perform with the fact that you have eventually performed with the best of the guys.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to work with Mohanlal Sir also, and that kind of builds you a persona in terms of being able to face the camera. I don't come from a cinematic family or anything like that, so for me everything I learned was on the sets, and all my mistakes are my experiences. So it has been a neat learning experience, and working with them did help me a lot in all sense. Coming to Malayalam cinema being popular for XYZ reason, I think we are a set of people who perform extremely well under adverse circumstances. Our technicians are the best. You give them what amount of money or the smallest of the canvas or the least resources, they'll come up with something really good. But that kind of also restricts us from venturing out in a bigger scale. So I think what Marco would do is allow Malayalam cinema to widen its canvas, come out of that space of good cinema in Kerala to a good cinema from Kerala across the country, like how our counterparts like from the Telugu film industry or Kannada film industry, Tamil film industry, or Hindi coming to Malayalam as well, because there have been times wherein a big regional release has stalled major releases of Malayalam in Kerala, which didn't go well with me. So I thought it should not be the case. We should have films that are bigger in its space. So while I released Marco, we got 30 screens. Now it's 300. So it's purely people are liking it purely on content based, because I'm pretty sure that most of the people, movie watching people in the north of the country doesn't know me. I don't have a face value here. So whatever appreciation this movie has received is purely based on content. Maybe next time I come up with a movie, they will say Marco ka hero hai, something like that.
Correct.
But this movie is purely content driven, which is why I'm very thrilled. Like though it does mark me as a star kind of thing in Kerala, but here it's the actor in me which is helping the film. So I'm very happy about it.
And as we talk about, you know, this side of you also, you know, as you said that, you know, Malayalam cinema has exploded, and you know, this has been Malayalam cinema week for me, because I just recently interviewed Mohanlal Sir also.
Wow.
And he told me also, like, you know, how the movies have been expanded into, you know, being converted to, say, you know, different languages also.
Yeah.
And people picking it up, like Drishyam was the finest example, or like, say, a Kantara, like picking up, you know, with the audience, though it was in a certain language.
Yeah.
You know, even this one, Marco, is releasing, you know, in so many theatres in Hindi.
Yeah.
It's exploding like how. But at the same time, what also happens when the exposure of any movie happens, you know, from any you know, cinema, any region, when I say that, you know, be it Bollywood, be it Telugu, be it Malayalam, or be it like Gujarati, or say even, you know, Bengali, the content sometimes looks similar. And in the beginning also you told me the same thing, that, you know, there were comparisons which are happening. Even with Marco, kind of the comparisons have happened with movies like, say, Pushpa, in terms of violence, or say KGF, or say even Animal, because of that, you know, kind of stunts being there, or the kind of revenge the actor is trying to do. How do you take that as?
So having seen all the other films and knowing what Marco is about, we are all very distinctively very different films. Look and feel of it. I think it's just the fact that the other Pushpa and Marco coming from the southern part of India to a bigger market might be the only reason of similarity. Otherwise, it's a very different kind of type. Both the directors are very different, and our approach to filmmaking is different. It's just the larger than life heroes or characters coming, breaking barriers through action. That's the only similarity. Pushpa is fantastic, Animal is fantastic, Kill is fantastic. Marco is good for me because it is being liked by the audiences other than Kerala audience, which is crazy good enough for us. The similarity is because action genre in itself has this lineage that it doesn't bury itself under the baggage of a language issue. You see, if you have an action film, it need not worry about the linguistic barrier, because people understand the emotion behind the actor or your character, why is he fighting and what is the action all about, and then so that's one reason why action films are doing much better all India level compared to a comedy film from Malayalam. I have not seen a comic film from Malayalam being discussed this good enough. Avesham did really well, but again it was cinematic, and here few movies here and there on a OTT level. I'm not talking about the theatrical bang happens primarily with the action films, because I think the understanding of the subject need not have that much of effort. It's like you know, these characters are having their own fights, and it's the dynamics that you bring on in the theatre space. Otherwise, I think Malayalam is still doing all kinds of cinema. Like Prithvi did Goat Life this year. I did Jai Ganesh, wherein I play a guy who can't walk, he's on the wheelchair all the time. I come with this. Fahad did Avesham. A few of my other friends, we had Premalu coming this time. So Malayalam was doing fantastic in 2024, with all actors doing different stuff. Like Dulkar did Lucky Bhaskar in Telugu. So I think, we also want to grow at the same time. See, you don't want to be that good boy in the classroom, because we also want our technicians and our actors to be to be getting the same kind of recognition which we genuinely deserve.
Yeah.
Because we have been told that we do good films, but when it comes to recognition, you don't.
It doesn't like get that highlight.
Yeah, it's just on the OTT platforms. I mean, discussed in a very niche space. I want it to be very local and very open, and the claps to be because I'm pretty sure that though Mohanlal Sir has a fantastic track record, but if you go on a wider scale, maybe just because we have not been able to widen the kind of cinema, it's like they've not got what they deserve. I feel it as a big time Mohanlal fan or a Mamuka fan. They deserve a lot more than what they've achieved. So it inwardly comes to the fact that the market plays a big role. So movies like these kind of help. I can't deny that.
But also, as we talk about Marco, you also recently said that the exposure what you were supposed to get with Malayalam cinema was not justified as much as you have got that in Telugu, Telugu cinema. But now do you feel with Marco, already exploding in such a manner, the perception is also going to change, and do you feel that because if you do the marketing in the right manner and strategizing it, as much as how a Pushpa has done, like people didn't really know Pushpa, it suddenly got blown out of proportion during the lockdown, and it picked up like how. So do you feel that probably such movies would be the ones who would just fill in the barriers?
So I don't think it's such movies. These are the best of the lot, I can say.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, so basically it's the content and the way Pushpa was made. So there are a lot of films that are made on high scale, and they don't reach out to the audience. So it's not Pushpa, it's the way it has been made. It's not Marco, it is the way it has been made. So the audiences are pretty smart enough to understand that, yeah, it's a big scale movie and a lot of things are happening, but how good it is. So eventually it's the content and how it is being marketed, and how good it is it worth enough to be marketed. So a lot of factors, invertibly the fact that your movie should be good and the content should be good enough for the audience to grasp. There are 200 films that have been made. We only discussed 2 films. So the success rate is like pretty damn low, but that's how the dynamics of the industry works. So, but the thing is that the masses kind of want, or I've always seen the trend has been the same. Like when I was a kid, I have seen big movies coming out, and parallelly you also have these parallel cinema coming out, and then you have newcomers, and you have, so nothing has changed over the period of time. It's just the way cinema has been perceived and the way we complicate things by discussing cinema more than it is required. I always felt that a lot more attention is given to filmmakers, cinema, and actors in general to understand life. Like the onus of making the society good cannot be on.
Which happens, like people really feel like, honestly, and it's a very good conversation which you brought up, that so many times people feel that, if an actor is doing a certain role, he is the person.
No, it's
he
not.
has that characteristic of it, and people fail to understand, and what happens is, it has an impact on the society. Like, we have seen through movies like, say, Arjun Reddy, or say, even,
But I have the very opposite of that. Cinema kind of reflects what happens in the society. So it's not the other way around. It's like the filmmaker gets his inspiration from the society. Being in the industry for the last 12 years, I have never seen someone say that this came out of the blue. It is something that he had read or he had seen.
Yeah.
So it's so whatever is written is
or experience, basically.
Experience, yeah. So your experience is from the society itself.
Like, say, for example, if a documentary is made on something, so then it's an experience.
So it's the society that is giving out all the information.
Yeah.
So so you cannot blame cinema for putting something back to society. It's like a filmmaker goes through something, he understands it, and he wants to pinpoint that something of this sort is happening. Now, to send across a good message, you need to be. It helps if you do it in a bigger scale. So it's like we can discuss 10 good cinematic brilliance, but I'm pretty sure the masses will not know about it. But you make a average movie with a good message, it will reach to a bigger audience. That's the sad reality. You can't do much about it. What I'm trying to say is that do not pressurize the filmmakers to an extent wherein they feel obliged to make good cinema to make the society good. You see, for that you have schools, for that you have parents, for that you have good books. You can educate yourself. You can watch a good cinema, good characters, and understand, oh, this is something that I should not be doing. So Marco is an A-rated film. because it has a lot of violence. So it is a cinematic experience. And so the government of India has allowed us to showcase this film to in theaters.
Certain, yeah, but
So it's done. So society knows that this thing has a lot of action, and again it's fake, but it has been shown in a way that it entertains people. And I cannot blame the society saying that okay, all of the society or the majority of the society will get influenced and they'll start shooting up people. No, it doesn't work that way. So my point is that cinema is primarily for entertainment purpose, and we as actors, we want to explore a lot of genres. You say sometimes what happens, too much of discussion based on a lot of things kind of pulls you back. Okay, now I don't want to do this because this will create some sort of controversy or something, and nobody wants controversy. It's the tiny mistakes made on larger scale kind of brings the attention. So no filmmakers who want to, okay, let's invest 100 crores and get some beating from the online media. So that's what my take is, and I try my best to make sure that I use cinema for cinematic purposes, because I got into movies just because I love the way a movie has been made. I enjoy the process of filmmaking. I have ventured into a different aspect of filmmaking primarily because it kind of excites me, the process of filmmaking, and I would feel it's the same with everyone. Yeah.
The movie is also competing with Allu Arjun's Pushpa 2.
No, we are not.
In a way, it is because it's like.
I'll just take it as a compliment, but there is no competition.
Okay. Yeah. Because the way it's like taking the screens.
But
and
that is
the
great.
numbers and all.
That's just great. But there's no competition. He's a big star. He's worked really hard for it. The first segment is done really well. He's won a national award. He's come back with a bigger bang. Movie's doing crazy good enough. I'm just happy that my movie has been. He's a senior guy, and the fact that my movie is being spoken about alongside Pushpa 2 is a compliment. That's the end of the topic.
Okay. Moving on to another topic is that you had a crush on Anushka Shetty at one point of time, and you worked with her in Bhagmati, and she kind of brought the feminine energies in you. Tell me about that. Like, what exactly happened on the sets of it?
No, you have a lot of admiration for a woman of that stature. She is someone who carries herself with a lot of dignity. Bhagmati was a film which was a women-centric cinema, and I played her the lover guy. So the way she handled herself, she was coming back from Bahubali success, and I was anticipating a superstar on set, but she comes across as the most feminine version of a female. So you tend to have this admiration of a successful woman with a lot of good etiquettes and good family stuff. You see, you don't. Maybe I didn't expect it, and then it was a shocker. But so that's about it. It's the fact that not just me. I think anybody would like you'll have some sort of admiration. But that's about it.
Moving on to other side is you are quite active on Facebook and on social media for that matter.
I have a team.
You have a team, and touch wood, like when you write some of your thoughts, sometimes it's taken out of the context. You have also faced online criticism. You've gotten trolled also. How do you manage that side of it? Because you are sharing what you are perceiving certain things. People expect something something else altogether.
Yeah, I kind of forget. I don't even remember. I don't carry that with me. It's mostly so you can't change people's perception. You can't expect them to understand you beyond a certain level. And over the period of time, thankfully, my cinema has kept me really busy, and I got a team that just to handle the understanding. Social media took time. You see, it's just like it's like a wildfire, and you don't want to get into that because you might have your rights and wrongs, but then it's difficult to convince a lot of people at the same time. So rather just agree to disagree and move on with life.
Have you kind of gotten addicted to social media?
Never. So I have a team. So maybe it might look very active, but I'm not the guy.
So the person who actually gave it back to a YouTuber was not you, or was it the team? The comment.
Oh, that a lot of personal stuff wherein I know it's me, but again it's see you have to understand life also, right? So you because I think being an actor, I think the emotional side in me got triggered or something like that. But I take it with a pinch of salt. There are a lot of things that I've learned in my life, personal life as well as my professional life, are through mistakes. And my mistakes are my experiences. And I was like, okay, fine, fair enough. And I'm a young blood. So I just thought few things that you should not. I thought I'm answerable to all of it.
Yeah.
Then I realized I'm not answerable to all of it.
Yeah.
So then I just, okay, something which not.
Being the youngest blood in the Malayalam, industry, people often talk about your relationships, and everyone is quite keen just to get you married. So is that something like does it get bothersome after a point? I think like in Bollywood, as we have Salman Khan, like people really worry about his marriage. Unni is one of those actors, in Bollywood, people really like get keen to know about your
Nobody's keen, just some random news here and there. That's it. Nobody's keen on anything. Nobody's keen on anybody's personal life.
Have you found love in your life?
No.
You're too occupied with your work.
Yeah, very much occupied. Marco kept me quite busy. I mean, it was one of the most stressful days of my life working on this project. Primarily because a lot of money was invested, and it's not the kind of cinema that kind of comes out of Malayalam cinema. So I was quite skeptical that it might get attention from outside Kerala, but within Kerala it might get these red flags kind of thing. But stunningly, it opened with the biggest numbers in my career. I had the best opening, I had the best feedback. I hardly heard a negative comment on the film, and now it's doing really well here in Hindi. We have releasing on January 1st in GCC Hindi version, and we have a Tamil version coming out. The Telugu version is coming out. This film kind of brought me a call from one of my favorite director, Ram Gopal Verma Sir. I got to speak with him. So this movie has done wonders to me.
Shared a tweet also.
Yeah. So I got to speak to him. So I am a big fan of Satya movie. So so a lot of good things, and Marco kind of kept me occupied. And post Marco, I have to shift my focus to the other films that I'm supposed to do. A lot of other things, otherwise also in career, which I would like to discuss on a different platform altogether. But so far so good, yeah.
I have to ask you this question because that out of my curiosity, I just even saw, and when I was doing some research on your work, it was about blocking one of your co-stars for 7 long years and didn't even realize.
Those are all
not
silly
even
stuff.
realizing basically, and this happens, when you work in an industry like this, you tend to do that because you want to kind of cut off and focus on what you want to achieve out of it. It happens even to journalists. It's not like it's very normal, to be honest. But how come you forgot for 7 long years?
I just forgot.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reasons were quite silly. It's just that I was being, I don't know, I don't even remember. It's just that when I worked with her again for Jai Ganesh, is when I realized that I had blocked her, and I don't know why. And so it was quite strange. And I'm just glad that she managed. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. And like lastly, as we move forward to the interview, there is this one thing which is also on the radar for the Malayalam film industry. It's kind of negative, but the conversation has come out. It's about the Hema committee, report. Do you feel that proper steps should be taken just to ensure that both the sides have been heard, and it's not like only one-sided kind of opinion, which kinds of
I think the right thing has been done. I think I'm not much updated on it, but things which has to be done will be taken care of, and this is not something I don't want to connect Malayalam cinema to this, because it's an industry that has
decorum. Do you feel that
it's an industry which has done a lot of good things, and I don't want this thing to kind of take away all the best aspects of the industry. It's a sad thing to hear about, and I think it will all be sorted off, and let's hope for the best.
And as we close the year, and since of course Marco is coming, I'm sure like after Marco, are you planning some other projects which are going
I've
to be
got
like
3
artists?
solid ones, and which I will discuss in the coming days. I don't want to deviate anything from Marco, because a lot of effort has been put in to make the movie the way it is, because it was not easy, something which I would to be very clear about. The cost of production, the quality of cinema, and competing, like you said, releasing at a time when there are bigger movies coming up, and then fighting it off, and then still holding it good enough to be getting good appreciation, and also the numbers wise. So all of that is kind of magical, and I'm glad that we sailed through it, and we're doing much better. And the success of Marco will definitely help my other upcoming films. And next time when I come down to Mumbai, I think we'll have a bigger and stronger release and a much better promotional strategies as well.
So are you also like looking into like as this conversation comes to an end that are you trying to go, like going forward, but you just prefer exploring your horizons, in
See, it
different-
cannot be every time. See,
Yeah.
not every cinema is. So I never used a pan India movie for this film. It is just that after the movie release, it is being accepted by all the
Yes.
audiences. I
Yeah.
just kept the dubbed language ready, knowing that it has a potential. I don't design films thinking that, oh, this has to be a pan India, everybody has to see it, because no, all stories need not be have that kind of a. I don't want to pressurize myself thinking that, okay, I have to make another pan India,
Yeah.
another pan India. No, there's no need to it, because not everybody needs to know your story every time. There will be a story which will have the capacity to entertain the audience alike. That time I'll come back with kind of thing. But whatever I have on hand right now does have an appeal. That's why I said I might come back and do it. But it need not necessarily be, because the best films that I got me all the critical acclaim, our stories are very rooted to its geography. Like Mepadian, which I did, we won the national awards. I don't think it will work here in Hindi, because it's a very it's a rooted story, but it's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
But helplessly I can't dictate to others, because it will not connect, and I don't want to do something and belittle my own film. But a movie like this, which is more color and more cinematic dynamics involved, will easily sail through. So that's why. But again, to get that right combination
Yeah.
is not an easy task, because like I said, 200-300 movies made in Kerala. So all India level it can be around 1,000 films, and like we have just mentioned 3 films.
Yeah.
So the numbers are quite
Right.
disturbing.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of the industry.
But it's going to grow, I'm sure.
Definitely.
But did this character kind of picked up in you with any of the sides of it? Any of the sides
There
of
is a part of Marco in me. I can't
Yeah.
deny that.
Yeah.
But
Which
not
side
all of it.
The
But-
silent side of it, which doesn't say much.
All of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess something is there. I don't want to explore.
Okay, that is the other side. I'll explore like probably in the next interview. But lovely
Yeah.
chatting with you.
Same
Manoj.
here, same
Thank
here.
you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so
lovely
much.
time
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all the best for Marco. Looking forward to see this.
Thank
one.
you so much, and
Thank
try
you.
to watch it.